Most people, when they see this thing, they're just absolutely floored with how realistic it looks. I'm the owner and builder of the replica of the Warthog from Halo. I've built this thing from the ground up completely solo on my own. 5.5 years of labor, thousands of man hours, thousands of dollars, and the few times I've nearly killed myself in the process of building it. I'm a big Halo fan. I've been ever since I first played it. This was back in like 2003. I'm trying to build this thing as close to the actual Warthog as possible. So the Warthog started off as the stripped down 1984 Chevy K10. Just an old school 80s pickup truck. The engine is based off a 1984 Chevy 350, but I've rebuilt this.
It's really exhilarating because it's like one of the most badass things you could drive.
If I had to put a top speed on this thing, I'd say 85 miles an hour, redlining it.
Yeah, I was surprised when we first decided to do it and bought the truck and totally stripped it down to just about nothing and started over with it. I found it interesting.
I didn't know if it'd ever run, but it sure did.
So, structurally, first I started with the roll cage. Built the roll cage, got it all centered and everything where it needed to be. And then I built everything else with structural angle iron. The hood actually opens up like a snowmobile hood, which reveals a 350 Chevy that I built. Carbureted with a quick fuel carburetor, long tube headers, Vortec heads. Built a completely hydraulic steering setup so that the power steering pump feeds a hydraulic orbital, which powers these hydraulic cylinders on the front. I had to put custom-made tusks on the front. Those things you can't just buy in a store, so I had to build those things out of metal from scratch, and it took me about 2 weeks of welding, grinding, and fabricating, but I came out with 2 fully realistic tusks that I welded to the front to give it that authentic Warthog look. You have to put blinkers on it, so that's what these little guys are, LED blinkers. And these are projection high beams, because you have to have high beams for it to be street legal. Your normal headlights, the off-road lights. I used a 3D printer to construct some of the tricky bits, like the rear view camera cover, different odds and ends, like the covers for the front headlights. There's different things that are just hard to craft, so a 3D printer is actually the best way to go about it. So a lot of measurements went into every little angle, every piece of it, to make everything fit together. I'd say the hardest part about building this thing is probably the things I didn't expect. I've had to rebuild the engine 3 different times for different reasons. The dashboard is completely functional. There's a speedometer, there's a fuel gauge, there's button switches for all your lights and airbags, the heater, and these seats are actually racing seats bought off of eBay. They're fitted with a 4-point safety harness to keep you strapped in. Thus far, I've spent at least 10, 11 grand in material costs. As for the value, it's hard to say how much it would actually sell for, but ballpark figure, if it sold to a diehard Halo fan, I could probably get upwards of 100 grand, I think. Everywhere I seem to drive this thing, it turns heads. Pull into a gas station, people are stopping to take pictures, asking questions about it, you know. People may not recognize that it's a Warthog, but they just think it looks cool, so they want to take pictures. And
we were just pulling off the highway to use the gas station, and I saw it and I knew exactly what it was. Told my wife, I was like, oh, it's like there's a Warthog over there, we got to go check it out. You know, I grew up playing the first Halo.
When I had it up and running, and for the first time ever, I was able to actually take it out on the road, take it for a test drive, and just the feeling of driving this unique, you know, beastly looking machine down the road that looks like nothing else just puts a warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart.